Most people will never produce free meat at home because they never learn what the Amish figured out 200 years ago. But the ones who do, they never buy meat again. I spent a week inside a working Amish rabbit operation in Lancaster County last spring. What I saw completely changed how I think about backyard protein production. 200 pounds of premium meat every single year, from 14 rabbits, in less space than a single horse stall, at virtually zero ongoing cost. And if you stay until the end of this video, I will show you the one mistake that kills 80% of backyard rabbit operations before they ever get started. Most people never find out until it is too late. Let me show you the numbers first, because this is where it gets interesting. Sarah Yoder runs 12 breeding does and 2 bucks. That is 14 rabbits total. Each doe averages 8 kits per litter across 4 litters per year. That is 32 rabbits per doe annually. Multiply 12 does by 32, and you get 384 rabbits. At an average dress weight of 5 pounds each, that is 1,920 pounds of potential meat from 14 animals. But here is the part most people miss. The Amish do not process all of them. Sarah holds back her best females for breeding stock, trades some with neighboring families to maintain genetic diversity, and still pulls over 200 pounds of clean, premium meat from the operation every year. The feed cost is nearly zero. I will explain exactly how in a moment. Now here's the first place most backyard rabbit setups fail completely. Housing. Most people think rabbit housing is just about keeping predators out. The Amish know it is about controlling microclimate. Walk through any Amish rabbit operation, and you will notice the same thing immediately. Every hutch faces southeast. This is not by accident. Southeast exposure means morning sun warms the rabbits after cool nights, and natural afternoon shade protects them when temperatures peak. Samuel Stoltzfus, a third-generation rabbit breeder from Ohio, explained it plainly. Commercial operations lose 15 to 20% of their kits to heat stress and cold shock. Amish operations lose less than 5%. The difference is not genetics. It is placement and design. Every Amish hutch also includes what they call a comfort zone, a solid wooden retreat section, where rabbits can get out of wind, rain, and direct visibility. This detail matters more than most people realize. Stressed rabbits do not breed consistently. Comfortable rabbits produce large, healthy litters on schedule. These same hutch designs were formed through Pennsylvania winters that drop to negative 20 degrees and summer heat waves over 90. The rabbits stay productive because the design works with local climate instead of fighting it. If you are building or buying hutches right now and you have not accounted for orientation and retreat space, you are already behind. This is one of those details that people find out about after they have lost their first litter. Do not be that person. Now, let us talk about the part that the commercial feed industry does not want you thinking about. Rabbits evolved eating wild plants, not processed pellets. The Amish never forgot this. While most backyard breeders spend $3 to $4 per pound of meat produced on commercial feed, Amish operations spend almost nothing. Commercial rabbit pellets run $18 to $22 per 50-pound bag. A single breeding doe eats roughly 150 pounds of pellets per year. That is around $60 per doe annually on feed alone. Multiply by 12 does, and you are looking at over $700 a year just to feed your breeding stock. The Amish spend zero, and their rabbits outperform commercially fed animals on almost every metric. The system is built on seasonal nutrition. Spring brings dandelion greens loaded with vitamins. Summer delivers comfort leaves with protein levels that rival alfalfa. Fall provides rose hips and raspberry canes for vitamin C and fiber. But the real move is preservation. The Amish spend part late summer drying surplus greens. Mary Zook's feed room had shelves of dried nettle, comfrey, and plantain ready to carry her animals through the coldest months at no cost whatsoever. This is not a fringe approach. It is what rabbit nutrition looked like before the commercial feed industry convinced everyone that pellets were necessary. Now here is where most backyard breeders lose the operation completely, usually without knowing why. Most people buy rabbits from whoever is selling locally, breed them together, and watch production quietly drop every year. They assume they are doing something wrong with feeding or housing. The real problem is inbreeding depression, and it can collapse a rabbit operation within 2 years. The Amish prevent it with record keeping that would make commercial geneticists pay attention. Jacob Eiler showed me breeding records going back to 1987. 36 years of data tracking litter sizes, kit weights at birth, weaning and processing, modern behavior, feed conversion, and growth rates. Every breeding decision is made against that record. They never select for a single trait. Commercial operations breed for fast growth or large size. The Amish breed for what they call a complete rabbit, good mothers, disease resistance, efficient feed conversion, calm temperament, and structural longevity. This is why their does stay productive for 4 to 5 years, while commercial stock typically burns out in 18 months. The results compound over time. After 5 years of consistent selection, average processing weight in a well-managed Amish operation climbs from 5 pounds to around 7 pounds. That is a 40% increase in meat output from the same space, the same number of animals, and the same labor. If you are not keeping written records of every litter right now, you are losing ground every generation, and you will not see the damage until it's already done. The Amish do not treat diseases. They eliminate the conditions that create them. Pasteurella, coccidiosis, enteritis. These are all environmental diseases. They thrive in dirty, humid, poorly ventilated spaces. The Amish engineer those conditions out of existence before the animals ever arrive. Wire floors allow waste to fall through. Slanted roofs shed rain immediately. Ventilation gaps allow consistent airflow without creating drafts. Resting boards protect feet from sore hocks. Feeders and water containers are scrubbed weekly with lye soap. Hutches are fully emptied and disinfected monthly. Bedding is changed on a schedule, not when it looks dirty, but before it becomes a pathogen breeding ground. And every single morning, feeding is an inspection. Any rabbit showing early signs of illness is isolated immediately. This single habit prevents outbreaks that can wipe out an entire operation in days. Most people respond to symptoms. The Amish respond to conditions. Does are bred to kindle in late March and again in early September. Both windows offer moderate temperatures, abundant natural feed, and high kit survival rates. Summer breeding is avoided entirely. The data behind this is not theoretical. Spring litters average 8.2 kits per doe. Fall litters average 7.8. Summer litters average 5.1 with 30% higher mortality. The biology simply does not favor summer kindling, and the Amish stopped fighting that reality generations ago. The other thing commercial operations get wrong is recovery time. Most systems breed does back immediately after weaning, pushing maximum output until the animal breaks down. The Amish give each doe a 6-week recovery between litters. The result is larger litters, healthier kits, and does that remain productive for years instead of months. Conception rates in well-managed Amish operations run above 90%. Most backyard breeders are hitting 60% or less, losing nearly half their potential production without understanding why. Now here's a financial picture laid out plainly. A properly set up Amish-style rabbit operation runs less than $200 in initial setup and then almost nothing ongoing. The manure from 14 rabbits fertilizes a meaningful garden. Garden waste feeds the rabbits back. It is a closed loop that eliminates external inputs and keeps producing indefinitely. Excess breeding stock becomes income. Quality does sell for $30 to $50 each. Proven bucks command more. Many Amish families fund the entire operation through selective sales of superior breeding stock while still harvesting their full annual meat supply. To start your own operation the right way, hutch dimensions for a breeding doe are 36 inches deep, 30 inches wide, and 18 inches high. Use cedar or pine for weather resistance. Hardware cloth floors with wooden resting boards. Southeast placement with wind protection and easy cleaning access. Source your foundation stock from established operations with documented production history. Avoid show rabbits. Select for meat production traits from the beginning. The timeline to full production is 18 months. The first year, you are building your herd and learning the management rhythms. By the second year, your original does are at peak performance and their daughters are entering the breeding program. The system compounds on itself. Now here's the mistake I promised to tell you about at the beginning. The one that kills most operations before they ever reach that second year. People start with the animals before they have the system. They buy rabbits, throw together a basic hutch, and figure out feed, disease prevention, and breeding records as they go. The Amish do it in the opposite order. Infrastructure first, then management systems, then animals. If you bring animals into a space that is not designed for their biology, you will spend your first 18 months fighting problems that were built into your setup from day one. Get the hutch right. Get the placement right. Get your record-keeping template ready. Then bring in your breeding stock. This system has been feeding families reliably for over 2 centuries because it works with biology instead of against it. It was not developed for hobby farmers. It was developed because families depended on it for survival. That is the standard it was built to. And if you are watching this thinking you will come back to it later, understand something. The people who start this system this month will have their first litters by summer. They will be harvesting their first 200 pounds of free meat before the year is out. The people who bookmark this video and forget, it will still be paying full price for protein at the market in December, wondering why nothing in their life changed. That gap between those two people is not talent. It is not money. It is not land. It is one decision made today. The Amish did not build these systems by waiting for a better time. They built them because survival did not allow excuses. You have access to 200 years of refined knowledge in a single video, something most homesteaders never find. Do not waste it. Subscribe to this channel right now, because next week I am releasing the Amish chicken system, and that video shows you how to integrate egg production with everything you just learned here to create a complete, self-sustaining protein system that costs almost nothing to run. If you missed that video, you are building half a system when you could have the whole thing. Hit subscribe. Turn on notifications. And I will see you next week with the other half of this system. Because the people already subscribed, they will be ready. The question is whether you will be one of them.